Welcome back to the channel, folks. This is Clunkers and Classics. Today we're going to go over my two little F-bodies. My 99 Camaro and my 2000 Firebird. Okay, this 99 Camaro I bought way back in 2003. And I bought it from somebody that had bought it from an insurance auction. So it was like an insurance broker, or I can't remember yet exactly. Oh, actually I bought it off of eBay, off a broker. Now it was 4 years old at the time, and I bought it for I think $3,200, and it had 32,000 miles on it. Right now it's only got 58,000 miles, so I didn't drive it that much. At that time I was buying, fixing up, selling, and keeping these 93 to 02 Camaros. This particular one here I bought to resell, because I bought two at the same time. I bought this one and I bought a 2002. It was a year old, had 9,000 miles on it, and I was driving it. It's like a brand new car. 1 year old, 9,000 miles, was like brand new. So I was driving it. It was whacked in the back, and I had to pretty much cut the whole ass end off and fix it. This one was whacked in the front, and start her up here. I don't know if you can see, it's got 58,891 miles on it. It's a V6 5-speed. Cars like a kitten. Like most of the cars, you'll see my dryer sheets on there, keep away the rats. They don't work. You gotta sprinkle that cayenne pepper over it. You'll see some of that spread over. The rats had eaten the spark plug wires off, I think last year. Anyway, it was whacked in the front here, and it actually did hit the frame. I believe this frame here, pretty good. So I think the fenders might have been okay, I'm not sure. I had to replace the whole front and the hood and all that. Yes, I believe this was the original hood. It used to be blue, originally factory blue, and then somebody had put two big white racing stripes on it. So I fixed it, and put it up for sale. Had it in my back when I was living in the Dallas area. Had a big shop backyard behind my house. Fixed it, repainted it. I think I just repainted the front end of it. Painted it blue, and the two white stripes on the hood, and put it up for sale for I forget what I put it up for. I think $6,000 at the time, or $5,500, something like that. Didn't cost me much to fix it. At that time I had parts cars, so I had parts to fix it. I fixed it up dirt cheap. So I pulled it around my front driveway, put it in at that time, I think it was the Auto Trader I put it in. And I think a day or two later, a big hailstorm hit, and I mean baseball size. And it came down, and even though these cars, they're plastic, but the hood and the quarter panels are metal, killed them. Killed the hood, had about 50 baseball size dents in the hood. Top of the quarter panels, I think it busted off a mirror. We had so many hailstorms over the years that it got severely damaged. Now at that time, I was just getting out of the business because I was actually selling on eBay and it was taking up all my time. So I put it back in the back of the garage in the backyard, stuck it in my shop, and it sat there for 7 years with hail damage on it, just sitting there. So that's how long I sold on eBay, was 7 years. So after I stopped selling on eBay, I got back into the cars. Well, actually a little bit. I was actually doing something else for another 3. Then I got back into the cars. So of course the value had gone down after 7 years, and I was still driving my 2002, the white one. So I decided, well, I got to do something with this one. So I redone it again in blue with the white stripes, and then put it up for sale. Pulled it around front. 7 years later, put it up for sale, and my white one, 2002, is in the driveway at the same time. So this old man comes up. He's going to buy a car for his grandson, and we'll walk around while I'm telling you this. So he looks at the one, even though there was a picture of it in the ad. He says, oh no, he says, my grandson, he'll get pulled over in that, because it had the 2 big white stripes. So he looks at my plain white one, goes, well, how much for that one? And I said, well, I don't really want to sell it. Now this is 7 years later, so the price of both of them had dramatically gone down. I mean, the retail, or whatever value you want to call it. So I just told him $5,500 for the white one. Now the white one, the 2002, I had bought for, I think, $3,000, and fixed the ass end on it for almost next to nothing. Had a couple $100 in paint materials on it, and I drove it for 7 years. So I told him $5,500. He said sold. So he bought my driver. And then I was stuck with this car, because I thought to myself, well, whichever ones he buys, I'll just keep the other, which I was hoping he would buy this one. So anyway, I sold the 2002, and then I had this one. It was blue with the white stripe still. And I thought, well, I'm gonna fix this up the way I want it, the way I want to drive it, make the way I want it to look. It's going to be my driver. So I pulled it around back in my shop, and this is what I painted it. I painted it this black. This stripe is my own design. The stripe there, stripe on the roof, and then now this hood, I got it from it was just a scoop off of eBay. And don't ever buy one, because I wanted to buy an SS hood, but I didn't want to spend, you know, $800 or $1,000 for an aftermarket one. But it's so thin up here that it started cracking, because it's so thin it comes all the way to the edge here, and it's very hard. I got it all glued and riveted down and everything, ground over it and put fiberglass and all that stuff, but it's so thin up here. You had to sand mostly all that stuff off, and it's too thin, and it started cracking again. And then when I moved, I had it in front of my shop, so it is full. Right now it's dirty more than anything, but it's full of overspray. You can see this is all like primer. I mean, you could wet sand and buff this and it would look perfect. You still see there's still quite a bit of shine to it, and that's that Nissan 2K paint that I painted this it's probably at least 10 years ago. So out of the other parts cars and stuff I had, I came across this wing, and I put that on there, and I love it. Some people might think, it's too gaudy looking or whatever. But I'll tell you one thing, this deal here, when you're in the car looking out the rear view mirror, this deal here blocks headlights. So you don't get no glare from the headlights. This louver, I believe I bought off of J.C. Whitney at the time. It's been about 10 years. So I put that on there. I bought the ground effects kit, which is the bottom of this. It's actually the tape's kind of coming off. Trim right along the back bumper and front, and then the sides. I can't remember what all that kit cost or where I bought it from, but I put all that on there. And I actually put on these aftermarket headlights, but the first thing to go was these rubber deals here. So anyway, she's just a V6 5-speed, factory rated at about 200 horsepower. It's got some power. I mean, you see my video I did last on my 77 Corvette. That thing's only rated at about 200 horsepower from the factory, so it's as fast as a 77 Vet, if you want to put it that way. Oh, off another parts car, I got the tailpipes and the, I forget what kind of MagnaFlow, I think, exhaust on there. But on these, you have to, they go up over the tail, the rear end. So you had to do some cutting and welding up there, and it's leaking a little bit. And lately, I took off the catalytic converter. I thought it was stopped up, so it's loud there too, because I didn't weld it very good. But so it is kind of loud. I just don't drive it anymore. It's just getting screwed up from sitting. Bad gas and everything. The tires, I bought these tires brand new 10 years ago. They only got, 20 something thousand miles on them, but they were all dry rotted. Well, mainly the two front ones. So yesterday I put the two new front tires on it. And well, I went to start it yesterday. I hadn't started up in a couple of months, and the damn starter broke. Here's the, take a look at this. Heard a big noise, and then it started spinning. So lucky I had another starter from a parts car. So you have these cars sitting around, and you go to start them up, and the starter's screwed and everything else. So anyway, that's it. No, I wouldn't be afraid to hop in either one of these cars and drive across country in them. They're in great shape mechanically, and they both drive great and everything. So it's a little bit dirty. I think those are the old wires, a Rat's 8. The dash piece up there used to be perfect, but I had an ex-girlfriend that sat there and stuck her foot up on the dash there and cracked it. So I ended up buying this dash cover. It's in the Firebird as well. They look really nice though. But that's a common problem with these Camaros, is the dash cracks. And it's just plain Jane, just wind up windows and all that. No real options on it, but I like it. So that's that one. This Firebird, it's awful dirty. I came from sitting underneath that tree. I didn't even bother washing it. Anyway, the Camaro, I just drove into town there the other day, put the new tires on it. Drove it into town. It's been parked under my carport for months. This Firebird, I drove it about a couple of weeks ago. took it into town. Now this Firebird I bought just like this, just the way it looks, for $600, and the motor was knocking like a mother. You wouldn't trust it for driving 1 mile down the road without blowing. See here, this tail light here is still cracked. These things, you cannot find them. So the motor was knocking real bad. She was just about to blow. And as you can, it's running right now. As you can see, it's got all my dog hair on it. Same dash cover as a Camaro. She just runs great. Same engine as a Camaro. It's the 3800. Purrs like a kitten. So the whole car, I think the odometer read 170,000 on it. That's what the car had. It actually had 168, something like that. But let's just take a walk over here for a minute and I'll show you why I bought that car. Well, I used to have a bunch of them Firebirds and I really liked them. But I kept the last one I was going to keep. My friend was like, I want it. And he traded me another car plus a bunch of cash. And I sold it to him. And I've been without a Firebird here for up until I bought that one. So why I bought that one with a knocking motor is because, you know, I buy junk cars. And this guy called me up and said he had this Camaro here. And it quit. It wouldn't start on him. He says, oh man, the thing just run perfect. And I went to start it and it just won't start. I don't know what's wrong with it. So a buddy of mine was actually with me. And he goes, oh, I know that car. It did run great. Because you know, you have to be leery about, you know, buying a car. Well, not even, I was going to buy it anyway. I mean, the guy wanted $200. So I bought the car for $200. As you can see, I just got sold a lot of parts off of it. So I'm leery about taking the motor out and putting it in another car, because these things, you got to take the motor transmission out through the bottom. You got to unhook the frame deal, jack the car up, and pull the whole motor transmission out. It's just very, very time consuming. So I don't want to go through all that work on somebody's word that, oh, it used to run good. Well, you do all that work and it's, you know, runs like crap. It's got a blown head gasket or whatever. So I bought it off him for $200. Then I heard from another guy. I had it sitting over here, and another guy comes by. He goes, oh, I know that car. It runs, it ran great. And it's, it only has had 120,000 miles on it. So, and I know these cars, these motors are good for about 200,000 miles. So I thought, well, I'll take a chance. But I couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. I couldn't start it. I thought it was the key, ignition, wires, security, you know, theft thing. Messed with it. So I never did get it started. So I ended up parting it out. And plus the guy didn't have a title, so I didn't want to mess with it too much. So I was right in a shop up the road, and this guy, a friend of mine now, when I moved out and bought this place, he, you know, was a mechanic, turning the shop into a mechanic shop, and he, you know, needed work. It was just opening up and everything. I said, okay, well, I got a motor swap for you to do. I brought him the Firebird, the knocking motor. It wouldn't run and drive. And then I brought him the Camaro. that silver Camaro I just showed you. And I said, I want the engine out of the silver Camaro. Well, let's just do the engine and transmission because it's easier to pull them all out at once and put it into this car. And I said, no, as you can see, hop in the Firebird, start it up. Boom, starts first crank, knocking like a mother, but it starts and moves, and ignition, everything works great. Computer works, it revs up. All the electronics on it was good. So I said, as you can see, this Firebird starts and everything works. So all we need to do is keep everything from the Firebird on the Firebird. When you take the motor transmission out of the silver Camaro, don't use anything. Swap all the electronics back from the Firebird onto that Camaro engine when you put it in. Oh, okay. So after a couple days, he calls me up and he goes, man, I can't get that thing started. I got it all swapped over and everything, but I can't start it. And I was like, well, god damn it. So I said, I'll come pick it up tomorrow. I'll mess with it myself. So then in the morning, about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, he calls me, man, I came in at 5 this morning and I got it running. He goes, it was the crank sensor. So he goes, I took the crank sensor off the silver Camaro engine and put it on the Firebird engine. Starts right up, great. So I said, okay, great. So I came, picked it up, and sure enough, it was, that's all it was. So I paid him $500 for the labor. So money-wise, this car, I paid $600, $500 to him, $200 for the parts car, but I made a lot of money off the parts car, but I won't include that. So that's $5, $6, $11, $12, $1,300. $1,300 is when I got into this car. So really, it reads 171, but it's really got 120 plus about 4,000 miles. I've only driven it like 4,000 miles. So, and the only other thing I've done to it is put on a new AC compressor. It's like $100 off of eBay. So the AC blows cold in both cars. I actually had to do that to the Camaro a little while ago too. A new AC compressor. So both these cars are, you know, ready to go. Run, drive great with AC. Of course, this one's a little bit, you know, this one's an automatic. It's got the power windows, power locks. What's it got here? It's got the radio controls on the steering wheel, and I don't know if it's got cruise or not. Yeah, it does got cruise. It's got a lot more options than the plain Jane Camaro. Oh, then it actually had those aluminum rims, just like that, but were aluminum. And I had this set, actually from that silver Camaro, and I bought a new set of tires. And I just went ahead and put them on these rims, and then swapped them onto this car. I think one of the aluminum rims was bent or cracked or something. So anyway, I did buy new tires. They weren't very much. They were like, I don't know, $58 each or $68 each or something. A couple $100 for 4 tires. And let's see, what else here? I haven't done anything to it cosmetically, but as you can see, the hood, the paint is really bad on it. And right here, it must have been whacked in the front end and spot painted. You see the different, a little bit different color from the fender to the door, and then it's peeling right here. Looks like a new fender with the black primer stuff on it. So it was whacked in the front and not fixed very good. But the headlights aren't broken, and they both go up and down. And I haven't painted this car. I kind of like the pewter color, but I haven't painted it all up and everything. The rest of the car is pretty good shape, actually. I could probably get away with just painting the front end. But I know it's been about 3 years since I bought this car. And I still haven't decided whether I want to spend the money and buy the Trans Am with the two big scoops coming up. I think they're about $700–800. So I thought, well, I'll wait till I get that hood and then paint it and take it apart and fix this deal here. It's somehow where it mounts to the fender is just something in there. Plastic stuff is broke. So that's why it kind of looks bad on the front anyway. The ground effects was all pulled away. It has a couple of screws and stuff in it. Scrapes on it, but not too bad. So I'd have to fix all that before I painted it, and I just haven't done it. We got too much other stuff going on. But it is all tagged and everything, and I do drive it. I was driving it for daily for, oh, I don't know, a few months, 3 or 4 months, a while back. Drove it to Oklahoma City and Dallas. So it's a good driver. She drives good. So anyway, those are the story on my two F bodies, 2000 Firebird and 99 Camaro. I love them both. I'm going to keep them. My other Firebird I was telling you about that I sold to my friend, it was black. And I don't know if I want to paint it black and have two black ones. That's usually what I like. This Camaro at the time when I said I'm going to keep this one, I'm going to paint it the way I want, which is black. But I had a black truck, a black Camaro, got the black Corvette. I'll probably keep this one like this pewter color, or you know, I don't know. I've had some of these that were red, but that red's more of a girl's color on a Firebird. So anyway, I think that's it. Also, those engines, why I love them so much, they're rated at, I believe it's 29 miles to the gallon for automatic, or no, 30, yeah, 29 automatic and 30 standard. And believe me, they get it. I mean, this thing, you know, it looks great, and you drive, it's a little loud. Damn thing gets 30 miles to the gallon. It's like driving a friggin' Honda, gas mileage wise, and people would never know it. But those V6 engines, I'm telling you, they're great gas mileage. So I do like them for that also. And this Firebird's got the T-tops. Those got a bunch of other goodies that the plain Jane Camaro doesn't. So anyway, it's part of my fleet, and these things, just like the Camaro, the starter went out, and I put a couple of tires on it, and you know, if it's raining and I go to, I need wipers, you know, my fleet of cars there, and up here my Jeeps and my other truck and this truck, always something. It's either something always breaking or needing, you know, mostly little stuff, the wipers and you know, maintenance, oil changes and crap like that. It's like this one tire here kind of went little lumpy, and it had a very slow leak in it. And then these two tires here were off another truck that I just got in a little while ago. Two big 16s. I put them on there the other day too. So it's always something with this fleet of vehicles that I'm always messing with. And but anyway, I love them. I can't get rid of them. I'm keeping them all, and I'll drive them as much as I can, but it ain't often enough. But I just like being able to hop in them, turn the key, and go wherever I want to go, not worry about it breaking down or anything. So anyway, that's all on my F-bodies, and I will see y'all next video. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, share, all that stuff, and I will see you all next video.